Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Gary Papa and Rob Jennings.
Sunday night, 4 Navy reservists killed last week are remembered at Willow Grove, and police investigate a case of murder in West Philadelphia. But the big story in Action News is a neighborhood still stunned by a deadly drive-by shooting in Philadelphia's Germantown section this weekend. Action News reporter Rick Williams has neighbors' reaction.
Except for 2 children on swings, the playground at 21st and Conlin was deserted this morning. Yesterday's gunfire has kept many neighbors away and most children inside.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I'm like really shook up about the whole thing.
1 man was killed, 2 others wounded in a drive-by shooting that remains under investigation tonight. According to police, the 3 victims were simply playing dice against the steps when a car approached. A gunman got out and opened fire. Witnesses say the men never had a chance.
People running, gunshots. You can't really make out who was shooting because it was a big crowd. You know what I mean? So you couldn't really put the finger on who was doing what. So I just seen my buddies running, and then when I came up here, I seen them laying on the ground.
Sean Kurtz was good friends with all 3 victims, especially 18-year-old Terrence Lucas, who died from a gunshot wound to the chest. Police have made no arrests, but they say there may be several suspects.
We're checking into the possibility that there was possibly 2 cars. Right now, we know 1 car.
Officials are also looking at a possible drug connection, since some neighbors have said the playground is a hotspot for crack and cocaine. Across the street, a community softball game drew no spectators today, and that has some worry that last night's shooting has shattered a sense of security here.
Could have been somebody else's kids. Someone got hurt. You know, they play in that playground all the time. And the kids, you know, it's just the kids. You worry about the children.
Few expect to see many children playing here from now on, as residents accept the sobering reality that this corner playground where kids used to have fun is now a site where someone was killed. Rick Williams, Channel 6, Action News.
And homicide detectives are also investigating a fatal shooting in West Philadelphia tonight. Officers were called to the 4900 block of Walnut Street just before noon today. Here they found the body of 19-year-old Lawrence Ford. Police say he was killed by a single gunshot to the head. Police say they have arrested a suspect but are not yet releasing his name. Still no suspect or motive in another slaying in North Philadelphia. The scene is 18th and Norris. The victim, identified as 27-year-old Philip Jones of West Arlington Street, was shot to death here around 4 a.m. Detectives are sorting out clues. A 15-year-old has been charged with yesterday's shooting death of a Bucks County man. 24-year-old Eric Kitchen of Newtown was killed while sitting in a truck with 2 companions at 4th and Diamond. Police say Kitchen's companions told officers they were in the neighborhood to buy drugs. Kitchen's wife says he'd never do that. They were just married 2 weeks ago. The suspect's name isn't being released because of his age. Police in Coatesville still searching for the gunman who shot 6 people during a brawl outside a bar early yesterday. It started out as an argument over a woman, then push came to shove, and 1 man ran to his car and then opened fire on the others with a semi-automatic pistol. Only 1 man was seriously injured. 25-year-old Vincent Love of Coatesville is still hospitalized tonight. Community leaders canceled today's Elks Parade for fear of gang retaliation. A memorial service was held today in memory of 4 crewmen who were killed when their helicopter crashed last week. This was the scene at Willow Grove Naval Air Station where the 4 men were stationed. Mourners gathered here to remember their friends, and among the victims was a Delaware Valley man, 26-year-old Petty Officer Peter Ware of Norristown. The 4 reservists were killed Monday when their chopper crashed off the Florida coast. They were returning to Willow Grove after a training exercise in the Bahamas. An organization which has trained more than 2 million unemployed Americans entered a new arena today, that of the homeless. OIC, Opportunities Industrialization Centers, is embarking on a new program to help the homeless. It opened its first shelter today on North Broad Street. OIC's director and founder hopes to open more homeless shelters, promoting job training around the country.
Chairman, a comprehensive program, a holistic program to enhance the pride of the people, to develop the skills of the people, to help with the employment of the people, to assist the health of the people, and to let the people know they are as important and as good and as capable as anyone else walking the streets today.
The Reverend Leon Sullivan. Mayor Wilson Good was among dignitaries at the shelter's opening this afternoon. Overseas in South Africa, at least 3 people are dead after police fired into crowds of rioting blacks this Sunday. 2 others were wounded by rubber bullets, 3 more suffering from shotgun wounds. It happened in the country's gold mining belt southwest of Johannesburg. The violence erupted after a decision at a community meeting to end a boycott of white businesses in a town where racial violence erupted last week. Houses of local black police officers were reportedly set on fire by black protesters. And it's being called one of the bloodiest days in Israel since the Palestinian uprising began. 7 Palestinian laborers were killed in cold blood, 11 others wounded in an unprovoked attack in a city near Tel Aviv. A 21-year-old former Israeli soldier is in police custody accused of the murders. Police say the man, armed with an assault rifle, confronted his unsuspecting victims at a roadside pickup point for laborers. He ordered them to sit down in a row, and then he opened fire on them. Well, that attack sparked this widespread rioting in occupied territories today. 350 people were reported wounded. Government leaders, though, are saying today's massacre by that man against the Palestinians is an isolated incident.
A brutal act committed by one person who was released from the army on the basis of mental disorder. And this is a terrible event. We all regret it very much, but it must not be blown out of proportion.
Curfews have now been imposed in the occupied territories tonight, and Israeli Prime Minister Shamir is condemning the attack and appealing for calm. The votes are being tallied tonight in Romania's first free elections in 53 years. Romanians turned out in droves to cast their ballots to choose the heir to the bloody revolution that ousted dictator Ceausescu. The lines were 200 deep in some places. Interim President Ion Iliescu is heavily favored to win the presidency, and his National Salvation Party, which includes former communists, is favored to win the most seats in Parliament as well. In Philadelphia's Spring Garden section, a refugee from the Soviet Republic of Lithuania told a church congregation today of religious persecution and the struggle for freedom in her country. Denise James has the story tonight.
She is Niole Sadunaite. The 51-year-old nun and nurse from Lithuania drew applause, ovation, and tears at St. Andrew's Lithuanian Roman Catholic Church. Sadunaite has been persecuted for practicing religion and jailed for her underground work in the fight for Lithuanian independence. Through an interpreter, she told Action News about the first time she was interrogated by KGB officials.
And they threatened that if you don't forsake your religion and your work, that you will also be interred in the prisons.
Sadunaite spoke on the day St. Andrews memorialized Roman Kalanta, a 19-year-old who set himself on fire during a demonstration 18 years ago to draw attention to the struggle for independence. Today, many faces made clear that Sadunaite is seen as a heroine who continues to sacrifice her safety and risk her life for Lithuania.
She was willing to do this was a wonderful example to people that there's something more important in life, that the freedom, human rights that all people deserve is something that we should all fight for.
The Lithuanian nun is touring the United States in search of prayer for her people. However, her English is limited to 3 phrases.
I love you. God bless you. Thank you very much.
But Sadunaite is not difficult to understand as she speaks the language of freedom. She's already written several books on the struggle. She plans to return home and continue fighting. Those with relatives back home say times are hard now because of the Soviet government's economic blockade of Lithuania. But many here say Sadunaite is a symbol of an ever-strengthening Lithuanian resolve to risk life and limb if necessary for independence. Denise James, Channel 6 Action News in Fairmount.
Still ahead on Action News this Sunday, it's a day of celebration and cultural marvel in Center City, Philadelphia. In sports, baseball highlights, including the Phillies' early morning extra innings win over the Dodgers. Gary Papa will have that story. We'll check Accu-Weather's 5-day and find out when that rain's finally going to arrive. We'll have more when Action News comes right back.
Everyone who takes a vacation should meet a person like this. She's warm, she's personable, and she's an owner of a major U.S. corporation. Where do you find her? At the Avis counter.
Okay, you're all set with your Chevy Lumina.
Avis Incorporated is the only major rent-a-car company owned by its corporate employees.
How do we get free unlimited mileage?
I'm friends with the owner.
Get free unlimited mileage and low rates on a Chevy Lumina. At Avis, we're trying harder than ever.
Check out our fresh Purdue chicken legs, 59 cents a pound, grade A quarters. Florida yellow sweet corn, $1 for 8 tender ears.
And check out our 2 new Super Fresh stores in Blackwood and Turnersville, New Jersey for free giveaways, special low prices, and grand opening events all week long.
Come share the brand new feeling, Super Fresh.
There are a lot of full-size sedans out there, so why buy a Dodge Dynasty? Well, in addition to driver's side airbags, front-wheel drive, available anti-lock brakes, and the longest powertrain warranty in its class, this Dynasty has the best fuel economy of any car in its class. Need more convincing? It also has the lowest price. And you know your Dodge dealer will work hard to give you a great deal. Dynasty. For safety and value, any way you look at it, it's advantage Dodge.
Heart and liver transplant patient Stormy Jones may be rejecting a second transplanted liver this weekend. She received that liver just 3 months ago at Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. 12-year-old Stormy returned there today. Doctors in her home state of Texas became concerned with her test results. The liver she received at age 6 in the world's first heart and liver transplant developed hepatitis. She had to have another one. Doctors reported Stormy's transplanted heart, though, was doing fine. Tonight at 9 o'clock here on Channel 6, ABC takes a look at a disturbing phenomenon, split personalities. The topic is examined in the movie Voices Within, The Lives of Trudy Chase. And Action News will take a closer look at that condition in our To Your Health segment tomorrow at 5 o'clock. In the movie, Shelley Long plays out the true life story of Trudy Chase, a woman so traumatized by her childhood that alternate personalities emerge to help shield her from pain.
You once told me that under certain circumstances, even you had the wherewithal inside of you to murder someone.
There's a difference between having the wherewithal and actually doing something.
I have that same wherewithal inside of me. And I'm going to kill that if it's the last thing I ever do.
This woman knows what it's like to live with multiple personalities. On To Your Health, Robin Garrison will explore the 150 different people who occupied her one body. As is often the case, this woman's personality split very early in life, the result of physical, sexual, and emotional abuse.
Defended against that. I had mother personalities, I had career-minded personalities, I had student personalities, and they all just did their job. I didn't know it was going on. I had no idea. I lived that way for nearly 30 years.
It took 8 years of painful therapy for Karen's personalities to reveal their knowledge of her terrible childhood, but that's what it took before all the personalities could actually merge back into one person. Again, much more on this disorder in tonight's movie and on To Your Health tomorrow at 5 on Action News. In other news this Sunday, flash floods have turned an Arkansas city into a river and pushed lakes out of their banks. Nearly a foot of rain fell on the city of Hot Springs overnight, knocking out windows and leaving the downtown area in under 4 feet of flood waters. Cars were swept off roads and bridges. Firemen busy all night rescuing stranded motorists. A raging river flowed down the heart of the city. Some store owners are reporting broken glass and even collapsed walls. So far, though, there are no reports of any serious injuries. A powerful earthquake shook part of the Sudan in northeastern Africa today. It measured 7.5 on the Richter scale, slightly more powerful than last fall's San Francisco quake. Radio reports out of Egypt say that there have no details of any deaths, injuries, or damage. The Seismological Center in Cairo, though, says volcanic activity in Sudan caused that quake, and they're expecting more earthquakes this week. At least 9 people are dead and many others injured after a train crash in the Soviet Republic of Georgia. Officials say a passenger train on its way to Moscow had to stop on the tracks, and then it was slammed by a freight train. The accident occurred yesterday, 21 miles south of the Black Sea resort of Sochi. 4 freight cars and 1 passenger car were derailed. The Soviet news agency TASS says a government commission has been formed to investigate this crash, and they are now at the scene. It was rocks and firebombs versus tear gas and police in Kawngju, South Korea, again today. Correspondent Taylor Henry tells us 10 years after the Kawngju massacre, some things haven't changed.
Riot police in Kawngju, South Korea were outnumbered by tens of thousands of university students, laborers, and citizens holding rallies marking the 10-year anniversary of the government's bloody crackdown in the city on pro-democracy protests. Many of Sunday's demonstrators hurled bricks and firebombs at the police, who attempted to disperse the crowds with a dwindling supply of tear gas. One student died of injuries received when he and hundreds of others leaped from trains to avoid police checkpoints on their way to the rallies. Dozens of other injuries related to the demonstrations were reported. During rallies at one local university overnight Saturday, students burned an American flag. Radical student leaders claimed the U.S. is behind the recent merger of three opposing political parties in South Korea into one large ruling party, which many fear will lead to authoritarian policies. Leaders accused the U.S. of trying to keep South Korea as its permanent colony. People attending the rallies came from all over South Korea. Police throughout the country have been placed on maximum alert for the anniversary of what has become an emotional issue in this country, the so-called Kawngju massacre, in which government soldiers in 1980 opened fire on demonstrators for democratic reforms. Nearly 200 people are known to have been killed. Kawngju residents say Sunday's violence was the largest anti-government activity there since the 1980 uprising, even larger than protests 3 years ago, which resulted in government reforms. Taylor Henry, Seoul.
A truck you can live with, a truck you can work with, a truck you can play with, a truck you can stay with. GMC truck.
Beneath this hot new styling, the 1991 Sonoma is and always will be GMC truck quality. For that, it's earned an exciting new name.
Sonoma.
Find out what it means for the 90s.
GMC truck. It's not just a truck anymore.
Get special incentives on GMC Truck's new 1991 Sonoma.
Experience the freshness, the service, and the savings.
Savings like these. Shop and bag canned sodas, only 10 cents each. And high-grade meat hot dogs, only 49 cents a package. And Mr. Big Napkins, only 99 cents for the 300-count package. And $4 off on circus tickets May 29th.
Experience the difference. Experience shop and bag.
Heidi Hunter buys for TJ Maxx. She just made another super buy.
This is a great one. You won't believe the prices.
Famous name shorts and tops, $7.99 each. They sold for much more in department stores, but right now they're at TJ Maxx for $7.99 each.
And while you're at it, how about these great casual shoes for just $9.99?
The Summer Super Buy. Selected top-to-bottom fashions at Maxx for the minimum prices. Don't miss it.
Because when they're gone, they're gone.
TJ Maxx.
Back in '79, I bought my first Honda. Then in '83, I bought another Honda and gave the '79 to my wife. Then in '86, I bought another Honda. Gave the '83 to my wife, and she gave the '79 to our daughter. Today, I bought a 1990 Honda. Gave the '86 to my wife. She gave the '83 to our daughter, and our daughter gave the '79 to her brother, who just got his license taken away for the rest of his life.
Buy a 1990 Honda Accord today and start your own family tradition.
Phillies and Dodgers going at it again. Here's Gary Papa.
They finish off the series today in Los Angeles. The Dodgers go up 1-0 on an Eddie Murray double. It could have been much worse in the ball game. Watch the Murray double coming off with Pat Combs. He's been rocked so far. Here's the double right down the line. 1-0. It could have been worse because the bases were loaded after this, and Ricky Jordan comes up with a great grab at first base. It will be a double play off the bat of Mickey Hatcher, and he gets 2. Jordan with the glove today.
Infield ground.
Also had a bat today. This will tie it at 1, but this is it for the Phillies so far. As boy, did L.A. come back. Alfredo Griffin goes right through the infield. A 2-run single here off Pat Combs. L.A. is now up 6-1 as they're heading to the top of the 7th inning. Los Angeles 6-1 right now. But last night was maybe the best Phillies game of the year, maybe in the last couple of years. Tommy Lasorda had his Dodger team up 3-1. He's sitting back saying, well, maybe we might win this one. Hold on, Tommy. Phillies pitcher Dennis Cook, who was an outfielder in college, can still hit the baseball.
And Cookie gets
a 3-run home run off Fernando Valenzuela as Cook helps his own cause. Phillies up 4-3. That's when he left you about 11:20 last night, remember? But, boy, right after that, did it get interesting. Don Carmen destroyed Dennis Cook's hopes of maybe getting another victory as Carmen in relief gives up a big hit. Bases are loaded. Here's Cal Daniels, and there it goes. L.A. now leads 8-5. But that's not the ball game. There's lots more to talk about. Tommy Herr, who had 5 hits in the ball game, sends this one ripping right through Juan Samuel as the Phillies are fighting back in the game. 2 runs coming on the Herr hit as they tie the game at 10, as we see Cal get every second of that trip around the bases. Okay, here comes the hit past Juan Samuel. Maybe he could have had it. 10-10 at this time. Then the Phillies get a break as Alfredo Griffin throws what could have been a double play ball. He throws it almost all the way to San Diego. And at this time, Phillies are up 12-10. You're thinking about maybe going to bed at this time, but then no, the Dodgers tied it at 12. Then, about 2 o'clock in the morning, 11th inning, top of the 11th, Rod Booker. Yeah, Rod Booker will clear the bases with a 3-run triple right here, and that finally is the ball game. The Phillies fought back to win it 15-12. Look at that line score. 15 runs, 24 hits, 3 errors. Dodgers, 12 runs, 15 hits, and 2 errors all the way to 2 o'clock in the morning. But the Phillies finally win it 15-12. Phillies next move to San Francisco for 2 at Candlestick tomorrow night, then at Tuesday afternoon, then home finally versus Atlanta on Thursday. Today in the National, Andre Dawson is hot. Here's a base hit. The Hawk is the hottest guy around, an RBI single here. Then Andre had a home run number 13 on the season. He leads the National League. Plus, this RBI is now number 41 so far this year. 41 RBI so far for Dawson. Cubs win 5-1. Also the National, St. Louis over the Reds. Montreal and the Giants are tied in the 8th. To the American, Toronto, the Blue Jays beat California. Minnesota wins at Boston. Baltimore blank Texas. 3 more. Seattle wins at 8-7. Detroit over Chicago. And the best in the East, that is Milwaukee, over the best in the West. That is Oakland, and that is baseball. To the NBA, you may remember that Michael Jordan said the Sixers were making it a little bit too easy for Michael, that the Sixers weren't playing him tough enough. They gave him too much room, and that's why Michael was so good against the Sixers. But look at today, and Michael, I guess, met his match versus Detroit. He wasn't hurt seriously, but he was in pain all day today, as this is Game 1 of the Eastern Finals. Jordan was battered, suffered a bruised hip in the process. He did get 34 points, but seeing this, you know how tough every one of those points was. He paid for every point as Detroit dug in with superb defense against Michael Jordan. He only gave up 34 points in the second half. It wasn't exciting basketball, but it was winning basketball. As you watch Joe Dumars leading the way. Listen to the PA announcer with every basket. He loves to say Joe Dumars. He had 18 points in the third quarter. Let's hear it. Okay, a total of 28 points for Joe, you know the rest. Detroit wins at 86-77. Joe Dumars, that is Game 1. Game 1 of the NBA Eastern Finals. As we saw, while the NHL tonight, it's Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Edmonton at home, and they're up 2 games to none over Boston. Should be interesting. Auto racing in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's the Winston Series. It's all Dale Earnhardt. He led every lap today to take the Winston, $325,000 total today. This year, he's earned over $750,000, and it's only mid-May. So Earnhardt is earning some big money. And in the NBA draft lottery today, getting the #1 pick was the New Jersey Nets, as they have the distinct honor of picking #1 in the draft, which is coming up in the month of June.
Okay, Gary.
All right, Rob.
Well, St. Joseph's University was handing out diplomas this Sunday. 750 bachelor's degrees and 350 master's degrees were awarded to St. Joe's students at commencement this morning. The ceremony at the Civic Center was St. Joseph's University's 139th. Some very happy grads today. Some of them were wearing Hawaiian leis as they said aloha to their college days.
The unintelligent way.
Bruce, I need this claim done now.
Well, here's the policy data. The photos are in here, and the rest comes from the local office.
Thanks a lot.
The intelligent way.
Bruce, I need this claim done now.
Well, here's the policy data. Photos are in here, and the rest comes from the local office.
Thanks a lot.
For image processing and systems and network integration, call Bell Atlantic.
Meet Gail Fitzpatrick. Landscaping, huh?
Azaleas to power cancer.
You could do better.
Like a master's in horticulture?
I meant you could trade in your father's Oldsmobile on a new Chevy S10 EL pickup. For $126 a month, you could be driving a pickup full of Piedmont for peanuts.
Perfect!
You can do better, too, at your 5-star Chevy GO dealer.
They really want me to take that job in Chicago.
When the moment really matters. There's no better card than MasterCard. With payment flexibility and nearly 3 times the acceptance of American Express. So you can buy what you want, when you want. For the way we really live.
I've been thinking. Please stay.
MasterCard. Master the moment.
Lens Crafters crafts your quality glasses in about an hour by putting the whole lab right in the store, so you can see better, faster, in about an hour.
Now, Lens Crafters will accept all buy one, get one free and dollars off eyeglass coupons from any eyewear store, so you can experience our unbeatable quality and 1-hour service. Limited time coupon offer ends May 31st. Simply bring in any buy one, get one free or dollars off coupon. Redeem your buy one, get one free or dollars off eyewear coupon at Lens Crafters for custom crafted glasses in about an hour.
It was the moment astronomers have been waiting for years. The Hubble Space Telescope took its first picture in space today of a 3-billion-year-old star cluster in the Milky Way. Now, scientists were relieved to finally test that telescope, which has had minor problems since it was put into orbit by a space shuttle crew last month. But today's picture from the Hubble was out of focus. And NASA says it's going to take about 8 months for them to finally get that telescope in crisp, clear focus. We got a very pleasant surprise today. It was another day of partial sunshine. As you know, if you watched last night, Accu-Weather was telling us that we'd probably get showers all day. But the weather system that was supposed to be here with the showers slowed down over Lake Erie. A little late in coming. It also became weaker, but the showers are coming tonight and tomorrow. 74 was our high at 2:44 this afternoon. 57 was the overnight low at 67 degrees right now. The relative humidity at 72%. The atmospheric pressure 2981, east wind at 10. An interesting weather fact before we go to the board. On this date in 1916, a tornado hit the town of Sidell, Kansas. In 1917, on the very same date, and 1918, the very same date, 3 years in a row, tornadoes hit that same town. True story. Cloudy tonight with scattered showers across our area. A low temperature of 55, says AccuWeather. Cloudy and cool with occasional showers tomorrow and Tuesday. Partly cloudy, cool Wednesday, and partly sunny and a few degrees milder by the weekend. That is AccuWeather's 5-day. And finally, tonight, a parade in Center City today was celebrating Israel's 42nd anniversary. The parade was honoring part of the festivities of Israel's Independence Day. It was featuring marchers and floats celebrating Israeli culture and American Jewish life. The Jewish Community Relations Council of Greater Philadelphia sponsored today's Israeli Independence Day activities. Some numbers were there as well. The ABC World News Sunday is next on Channel 6 at 8 o'clock. It's a special 1-hour edition of the hit show America's Funniest Home Videos. As we told you yesterday, 100 Delaware Valley residents came to our studios this weekend to help select the $100,000 grand prize winner of America's Funniest Home Videos. Tonight, you'll find out who that lucky winner is. 8 o'clock, Channel 6. Now for Gary Papa and the entire Action News team, I'm Rob Jennings. We'll see you later on tonight.
From Channel 6, this has been Action News, the most watched news program in the Delaware Valley. When you see news happening, call the Action News tip line by dialing News 6. In New Jersey, dial 966-6666 or call our regional news bureaus.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Starr. Summer vacation is so close you can taste it, but you can't escape just yet. Well, then come with AM Philadelphia for an armchair tour of sunny, beautiful Bermuda. We'll start our 3-day tour with a cruise on a luxury liner connecting Philadelphia with the port and pink sands of Bermuda.
Plus 3 generations of one family, all affected by one thing, DES. I'm Wally Kennedy. Next time, meet mother, daughter, and grandson, now afflicted with cerebral palsy, all because of DES, after Donahue at 10.